Hi everyone, my name is Cassie and welcome to my channel Bookish 4 Eyes. Today I've got a book haul for you, so let's get right to it. These two first books I picked up at the Amazon store here in New York City. It's really cool going there if you are a Prime member because all of the books there are priced at the same price as they are at online at Amazon.com or on your app. So you kind of get to scan the book and to see what the price is online, and you get that price if you have the Prime membership. So it's really cool, and it's much nicer, I guess, than ordering books online because you get like a bookstore experience rather than waiting for your books to come in the mail. So anyways, the first book is called The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson, and I've never heard of this book before and I haven't heard of this author, but it sounded very good and it actually got pretty good reviews, so that's what made me want to get this book. Basically, this is about a man who, I guess, abducts women and then he tattoos them and something of the sort. There is a survivor of this kidnapping and her name's Maya, and like the FBI are working with her to figure out what is going on and what this guy is doing and how this is all happening, but she also has like a deep, dark story of her own or something like that, so it should be interesting. And I didn't know this before, but after looking this up, I guess this is like, there's 2 books or maybe 3 books, so this might be like a trilogy or something like that. If you read this, please let me know because I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to reading it anyways because it sounds pretty intriguing. The next book is called My Sister's Grave, and this is about a woman whose sister has been murdered, and they've caught a man who's like a sex offender and he's got history of like violent behavior, but she doesn't believe that he's actually the person who killed her sister, so she does her own investigation and then she decides to join the police force to actually take on this challenge of finding the true killer. I guess in her search for this true killer, a lot of dark things start to unravel with the relation to her life, her family, and just the past. So sounds very fascinating. I haven't heard anyone talk about this before, but I'm pretty excited to get around to reading it sometime soon. This next book I won in a Goodreads giveaway, so that was very exciting. I got this from William Morrow and it's called If You Leave Me. The cover is really beautiful, so I was very excited to win this book. This takes place in Korea during the war, and this is going to be one of those books I think where it's just like a family drama type setting. The communist army from the north invades the area where the main character in this book lives. Her and her mother have to escape to a refugee camp and try to survive that. This basically spans from her childhood, and then she ends up getting married, having a family of her own. Just kind of a generational novel, and that's the kind of book that I've been really itching to read these days. There appears to be also some romance in it, and I can definitely be persuaded to like that, so I'm looking forward to picking this up. I think it will be a really good book. This next book got sent to me from a publisher in Canada called Walzack & Wynne. They're located in Hamilton, Ontario, which is really cool because I used to live not too far from there. And this book is called Adjacent Land. This is basically about a man who wakes up in like an asylum type setting and he can't really remember anything, but he's being told that he's kind of crazy and insane, and he doesn't really think that that's the case, and the inmates there try to help him, kind of set him on a path to do something crazy that he doesn't know if he should do or not, but it seems to be better off than just agreeing with everything that the guards are saying and making him believe that he's crazy. I think that sounds very fascinating because I like not knowing what's the truth and what isn't, and having the main character figure it out on their own and following along with that journey. So I think this book would be very twisted and interesting, and I just would be very curious to see what the reality is. This next book I received from Gallery Books, and this one was published by Scout Press, so thank you so much for sending this to me. I'm very excited to get around to reading this one. It's called Lying in Wait, and I've seen this book around a little bit and it sounds absolutely fascinating. I cannot wait to start reading it. I know it's going to be a very good read. Basically, it's about a married couple and everything seems to be going great. They're really upstanding citizens. The husband is a judge. I'm not sure what the wife does, and they have a son. then somehow, accidentally or not, the husband ends up killing a woman. She's a prostitute and a junkie, and the couple decides to hide her body, and basically they just, in the synopsis it doesn't say how she dies, and we don't know if it's an accident or not, but the couple of them take the body and bury it in their backyard, in their house. And they think that they're gonna get away with this because, well, who's gonna be looking for this troubled young woman? Little did they know, this troubled young woman had a sister who, you know, was really kind of devoted to her and was concerned about her and is really trying to figure out where her sister went and what happened to her and where she disappeared to. And also their son, who doesn't know about what they did, is kind of starting to piece things together and get a little concerned about what's happening. And I guess somehow the sister and their son's paths cross and things begin to merge, and you know it's going to be crazy, absolutely crazy unraveling when this whole thing comes to light and people find out what happened. So I can't wait to read this book. I have a very good feeling about it. This next book I've heard a lot about, and I picked it up at Barnes & Noble. This is called That Kind of Mother. Basically, this starts out with a woman who has a child, and then they hire a nanny who's a black woman, and things are going well, except the nanny ends up dying during childbirth, so that woman chooses to adopt the baby, so she ends up having her own white baby and a black baby. And this book is about her struggle as a white mother to raise two children who she loves the same, but who are gonna have completely, you know, different experiences out in the real world, and she has a hard time preparing for that and knowing how to deal with it and what to do. And I think that's really unique, and I'm just really curious to see what happens here and how this book unfolds, and, you know, where it all comes together. I'm really curious. Last but not least, since it is a Pride Month, I figured I should pick a book with a gay relationship. So this is When Katie Met Cassidy, and this is my book of the month pick. Basically, Katie is a woman who was recently engaged, but her engagement fell through and her fiance broke up. And then she meets Cassidy, who is wearing a man's suit. This is from the synopsis. And they get to know one another, and Katie ends up going into this completely different world that she didn't know much about. They go to this like bar where it's just like a lesbian bar, and they just hang out, and Katie becomes kind of really attracted to Cassidy, and that's when the magic happens. This is a romance novel. I don't read a lot of romance novels and things like that, but I have a good feeling about this. You know, I haven't read a romance novel in a while. I've never read a straight up like a gay romance novel before, so I'm all about that. I'm gonna give it a go and see how it goes. No time like the present, so I'm really excited to get around to this. So that's it for my June book haul. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, and also please let me know if you're looking forward to reading any of these as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.